everyone, it's Jennifer from Flux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Mountaintop Super Scarf. This is a very trendy, chunky, highly textured scarf, and it's a great way to use up some of your yarn leftovers. As a side note, you'll have to excuse my voice a little bit for the beginning part of this video. I'm on the brink of losing my voice, but I couldn't wait to share this scarf pattern with you. So bear with me, but I still have a little bit of voice left, so we'll get through this. The later part of the video I filmed first, so my voice sounds a little bit more normal. So anyway, this is a very fun scarf to crochet. I used just some super bulky yarn I had on hand, and I will share with you those colors, but we have a lot of really pretty neutrals, and I decided to put just some random blue stripes throughout the scarf. Now, of course, you can use any colors you like, and definitely feel free to do that. And I love seeing the colors that you come up with on social media, and some of you send photos to me of your finished pieces. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen the super scarf around on Pinterest or other places online, but they're very popular right now. They're very wide and very long, and you can wrap them around you several times. I wanted to create one that was mostly neutral colors. I've seen a lot in knitting and crochet, cabled ones, tasseled ones. So we just wanted to do a chunky lace pattern. And actually, one of you out there requested the same fan shape stitch that we did for the autumn morning button cowl that I released last week, that video. She asked to see a scarf. So I figured that we would pick something that's very trendy right now and make a super scarf. However, if you want to make yours smaller, I'm going to be giving the multiples later on in this video. So you can, if you want just a standard scarf. Now, this is 13 inches wide, so it's very nice and wide. And this is, mine is 84 inches long, so that is about 7 feet long. So it's very, very long. And you can, of course, make yours shorter if you like as well. So you can make yours narrower, and I'll show you how to do that. And you can make yours shorter just by working less rows. But for the super scarf pattern, I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a 9mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and a ruler or tape measure is helpful, not totally necessary. I like to use them as I'm working to make sure I'm getting the dimensions I want. And then your yarn. I'm going to be using Lion Brand's Wool Ease Thick and Quick, and you'll need about 4 skeins of this. Now, a scarf, there is no actual gauge, or you know, your dimensions can be off a little if you're substituting yarn. This is also a great way to use up yarn that you have laying around. I'm actually going to be using, so you'll need roughly 4 skeins of this. I have 3 full skeins of, I have 2 of this pretty tweed, it's called Moonlight, and then I have a solid of this other yarn called Linen. So I'm going to be mixing those colors. Then I have a half a skein or so of the Wool Ease Thick and Quick in this denim color. I'm going to add just some stripes of this here and there. And then Fisherman, so just to give it kind of like a neutral cream color. So you'll need roughly 4 skeins of yarn. And then this is also a great way to use up some yarn as well. Okay, to begin our scarf, we're going to put a slip knot on our hook. So to make a slip knot, wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up that loop, and tighten. Our scarf has a starting chain of 34. Now, that is a multiple of 6 plus 4 if you want to change the width of your scarf. If a super giant scarf like the one we're making isn't quite your cup of tea, and you want to kind of go down to like more of a standard size, or you want a mega scarf and make it even bigger, just know that the multiple is 6 plus 4. If you're not familiar with that concept, when you're making your starting chain, just do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 until your starting chain is as wide as you'd like your scarf to be, and then add 4 more chains onto that. So a multiple of 6 plus 4. Our scarf that we'll be making today has a chain of 34, like I mentioned before. Okay, so to make a chain, wrap yarn around hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We get a little bit more yarn. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. 31, 32, 33, and 34. So you can see our starting chain here. Here's where our knot is. So this is about as wide as our scarf is going to be, okay? Give or take. So what we're going to do now is begin row 1. Now I wanted to make just a little side note. For your starting chain, you want to do it fairly loosely. If you're having trouble and your starting chain is just a little too tight, go up a hook size. So maybe go up to a 10 millimeter, do your starting chain, and then for the remainder of your project, switch back to the 9 millimeter, to complete your scarf. Okay, so let's begin row 1 rather. So what we're going to do is count into the 6th chain from the hook. This loop here does not count. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in this chain right here, we're going to work our first fan. Now, like I mentioned before, this was actually a reader request. So you might notice the Autumn Morning button cowl has a similar stitch. So if you also made that project, this project will be a super easy review of that stitch. Okay, so we're going to work our first fan. This makes like a lacy open fan. We're going to work our first fan into that 6th chain from the hook. So what we want to do is work 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet into that chain. Okay, so to make a double crochet, wrap yarn around hook, insert it into the chain, bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the last 2 loops. Okay, so that was 1 double crochet. Now we need our 2nd double crochet. Then we'll want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochet. Now, as far as these super scarves go, so that was 1 double crochet and then another double crochet. This one is going to go pretty fast. You're going to cruise through your yarn pretty quickly because not only are we using a large hook, but we're also using a very open, kind of lacy, chunky stitch. So we're going to zip through this big scarf pretty quickly. Okay, so then what we're going to do is skip 5 chains. So let me get my chain, got a little twisted there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next 5 chains. And in that 6th chain, we're going to do the same thing. So 2 double crochet. So that's 1 and 2. My yarn tangle is kind of following me around here. Let me just get that out of the way. I think I pulled too much yarn off to start. Okay, there we go. So 2 double crochet, then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, then 2 more double crochet, all in that same chain. 1 and 2. You can also see this kind of variegated tweed yarn that we're using for the next couple rows is already changing colors. So it's going to make a really fun and interesting scarf. And we're going to add some solid stripes in it as well to kind of balance everything out. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Count 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So skip over those 5 chains, and in that 6th chain, we're going to do another fan. 2 double crochet. 1 and, and 2. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 more double crochet. 1 and 2. Okay, so you should have 3 fans so far. We're going to put a few more in. Count 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that 6th chain we'll do another fan. 2 double crochet, 1 2, slide this yarn over so you can see better, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more double crochet. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Okay, let's count 5 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in that 6th chain, do another fan. 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more double crochet. That's 1 and 2. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chains left on our row. So we're going to skip over the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that last chain of our row, we're going to work just 1 double crochet to finish off the row. Okay? So row 1 should look like this. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these lacy fans across, okay? Okay, like I mentioned, this is a really simple pattern. So we're just going to move on to row 2 now. Now row 2 is the row you'll repeat for the entire scarf. Okay, so to begin row 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Next, we're going to work the first fan into this chain 3 space. Now when we did row 1 and we did that chain 3, that created this space at the top of each fan, okay, all the way across. So we're going to work our fans into the fan, the top of the fan, that chain 3 space from the previous round, or row. Okay, so what we're going to do is work the fans the same way. 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, get my yarn situated here. It's not cooperating today. And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochet, all in that chain 3 space. So your fans, your lacy fans, will have a stacked appearance, okay? Let's hop over to that next one. We're going to work all the way across doing the same thing. Okay, hop over to that next chain 3 space and do the same thing. 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Then you want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 2 more double crochet, all in that same chain 3 space. Because we're working into the spaces, they're really easy to see, and I feel like you work through it pretty quickly, rather than looking and counting for stitches. I'm just going to take a moment here and get my yarn under control. It's just like all over the place. Okay, next we'll hop over to that next chain 3 space. 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and our yarn has changed again. See how it's went from dark to light? It's really pretty. Okay, and then 2 more double crochet, all in that same chain 3 space. We're about halfway through the row, a little more than halfway through. We have 2 more fans. So hop to the next chain 3 space, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 1, whoops, 2, 3, and 2 more double crochet, all in that chain 3 space. 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. Our last fan of the row, do the same thing. In the chain 3 space, whoops, work 2 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and it should look like that. It's looking very pretty. Okay, our yarn is settled down, I think, over there. Okay, so to finish off the row, do you remember we did the turning chain at the beginning of the row? This creates a space called the turning chain space. So in that turning chain space, just work a double crochet. Just like that. And row 2 is complete. So to continue with your scarf, you're just going to be repeating row 2 over and over and over again until your scarf is as long as you would like it to be. Now I'm going to work a few rows of my scarf, and then once I'm ready to switch colors, I am going to show you how to do that. Also, because we're working with 4 different balls of yarn, you're going to have to learn how to, if you don't already, when you run out of one ball of yarn, switch to another ball of yarn. Or when you're ready to switch to another color, switch to another color. So what we're going to do is repeat row 2 over and over and over again, and then when I'm ready to switch colors, I'll show you how to do that as well. And that applies for joining a new ball of yarn, joining a new color, what have you. Now there's lots of ways to do it. I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. I like to just cut it, tie the new one on, and keep going. But if you have a preferred method, you can just skip over that part and do what you prefer to do. Okay, so I'm going to be repeating row 2, and then we'll rejoin in just a moment, and I'll show you how to switch colors. Okay, so when you're ready to switch colors or tie on a new ball of yarn to continue working your rows, all you need to do is just work to the end of the row and then just cut your yarn, leaving a tail long enough to comfortably weave in later. You don't want it to be too short, but you don't need it to be too terribly long either. And then go ahead and fasten off with your yarn. And then you can grab your new yarn. I'm going to put this little blue stripe in here as soon as I find the end of my yarn. And then what you'll want to do is this very last stitch right here on the end, insert your hook in there, bring the new yarn through, go ahead and tie that right on. Now as a side note, there are lots and lots of ways to join yarn, and if you have a way that you prefer, definitely feel free to do that. This is just the way I like to do it, okay? So once that new yarn is tied on, reach back in with your crochet hook in that stitch, that same stitch you tied it onto, bring up a loop, and then you can create your turning chain. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're ready to begin working on that next row. So you can just work right into that next row, just the same as you have been for the previous rows, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish my scarf, and once I get to the end, we will rejoin. I'll show you how to finish off your scarf and how to do all the weaving in the ends and all of those details. So I'm going to keep working my rows, and we'll rejoin in just a bit. Okay, so I'm just working that last stitch of my row. And then I don't have enough yarn to begin another row, so I'm just going to go ahead and fasten off. And then the scarf is complete. So we have lots of colors and textures happening. So we can go ahead, and I'm going to thread my tapestry needle, just like that. And then we're just going to weave it in. Now I have lots of ends because we've switched colors a lot. And we'll do those later, but I'm just going to show you how to do this one. So when you're weaving in ends, we want to stay, see this is like a beige color, and then we have blue down here. You want to stay in the beige area when you're weaving this beige tail in. So just come in one direction. And then come in the other direction. Just like that. And then you can just take your scissors and trim, just like that, and straighten things out if needed. Okay, and then you'll just repeat for the rest of your yarn tails, if you have any, and then your scarf will be complete. So once you're finished weaving the ends, your scarf will be complete. So that is how you crochet the Mountaintop Super Scarf. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.